Yo, what's... No, I'm joking. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Real Red Talk, an authentic fan channel dedicated to Manchester United. This is your preview for the game against Everton in the Premier League at Old Trafford. We're fresh from a 1-0 victory over a decent Brentford side, and the performance itself was much better than the Newcastle one on Sunday. We now play an Everton team who've only lost one in the last 5 games, so this one isn't going to be easy either. Very excited because we've got two sides of the coin on today's show. We've got Alex, who's joining us, who's a good friend of mine, a fellow Toffee, and someone who's been on here before. So thank you very much for coming on. And how are you doing, Alex?
Yeah, I'm good, mate. I'm good. Looking forward to the game. Yeah, we've got a decent enough chance. So yeah, good to chat about it as always.
Yeah.
So yeah,
likewise. I think it's going to be a lot closer than some people might think, in fairness. Both teams kind of fighting for a lot, aren't they? Which we're going to certainly touch on in a second. We've also got the reliant, whatever word you want to describe him with, Shreya Singh, fresh out of Delhi. Are you looking forward to this one, Shreya?
Yeah, absolutely happy that it's an early kickoff as well. So it works into my favor. I can watch the game, in a much more relaxed manner. And it gives me. I feel much happier watching games when it is an early kickoff, because last season we both, you saw that I had to wake up around 1 a.m. and 2 a.m. and the way we used to perform and the way the games used to, and it was just really, really hard for me to go to college the next day. So yeah, really, really happy, and yeah, hopefully we see a really good performance from both sides tomorrow.
Nothing worse than watching a 5-0 slapping off Liverpool at 3 in the morning, is there, when you're bog-eyed? Honestly. Before we get stuck into the preview, guys, please do click that subscribe button to support the channel. If you want to become a Real Red Ultra, how cool is that name? I know what you're thinking. To receive exclusive content, a chance to feature on the show, and a little Real Red Talk badge next to your name.
Yep.
And you can do that by clicking the join button next to the notification bell. It just supports the channel, helps us get bigger guests on. You know the script. There's a few little notices I'll put out there as well. I'll be live tomorrow from 11:30. Like Shreya's mentioned there, it is the early kickoff. So I'll be live 11:30 with team news tomorrow for a live watch along. So make sure you jump in the chat and throw me some questions. As always, we'll go through it together on TikTok and YouTube. Now, I mentioned to someone before, I put a short up today. I'm not sure if any of you guys have seen it. It's absolutely fine if not. But asking basically people to create the perfect ball player. So you've got football intelligence, you've got speed, you've got power, and you've got technical ability, basically. A combined kind of perfect hybrid player. And whoever it was who put in the best comment, just give them a little shout out on the show. So there was many creative ones and ones that stood out, but Claire Loudon, her submission was very impressive. So she went for power. She put Erling Haaland, obviously, Viking. Pace, she put Vinicius Jr., speedster, absolutely. Technical ability, she put Neymar, hard to argue with. And football IQ, she put Kevin De Bruyne. So I said a shout out, Claire. Big shout out to Claire. Thank you for everyone who got loads of comments on that shot, to be fair. Done really well, so thank you for that. And because we always start the previews off with a good old-fashioned warm-up, I thought you lads could do the same. So for each category, who would you pick to create the perfect footballer? Who wants to go first? Don't all jump at once.
do you know what? Right? Did you say it was Claire? I think
Claire Loudon, yeah.
Claire Loudon. That's decent, but where's Messi? Where's Lionel Messi?
Well, it's being creative equation as well. It's not going for the obvious ones a lot of the time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So get a little bit creative with it.
Messi, probably.
You can throw Leighton Baines in there. Obviously, Messi. You can't see the object combining a player. Then you can just do one player, couldn't you? Then I'll just say who's the best player on the planet, and you go Messi. You're all right. Okay.
Right. Well, obviously, technical ability. I mean, no one even compares to Lionel Messi in my eyes. So has to be him.
Start strong. I like it.
Yeah. IQ. To be fair, yeah, did she say De Bruyne for that one? It's hard. It's hard to argue.
Want a niche option though? You don't have to go for like the obvious, the best of the best. Just someone who is up there, but maybe someone might think, oh, do you know what I mean? Because I went for Sergio Busquets, for example, who's a great reader of the game. Fantastic brain. So something like that. I'll put you a bit on the spot here, so you can go at it together if you want. If you've got any players in your mind that you want to put in. Right, go on.
So for footballing IQ, I would go for Mesut Ozil.
Okay.
Yeah.
And for technical ability, I will go for Kaka. Then,
Oh,
I really
he could
like.
come under a few brackets, though, couldn't he, Kaka?
Yeah,
to be
he
fair, he
definitely
could come
could.
under
Like,
pace,
he was one
power.
hell of a player. Yeah, he was
Yeah,
one
he's got
hell
it
of a
all.
player.
Yeah.
He's got it all.
For pace, there are just like so many options. But
Adamo.
uh, yeah, but I think for pace, I would probably have to go for someone like Mbappe or Ronaldo, like
Okay.
for like brute pace.
R9. Oh, Ronaldo back in the day. You're on about
R9.
R9.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Fair enough.
Yep, absolutely.
Nice.
And for short power, like for strength,
Oh, what? Yeah.
for power, I would just go Cristiano Ronaldo.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay.
I didn't realize at first when you asked the question that it was of all time. So I thought we was limiting it to like for
No.
nowadays.
Anyone. You go back to fucking Tico days if you want, mate.
Do you know? Right. So IQ, I'd probably say Dennis Bergkamp.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good shout.
He was a magician.
Sensational.
Pace. I mean, there's a lot.
Yeah.
I think Michael Owen before his injuries, he was like unstoppable.
Very
But
good.
then you've got like Theo Walcott or even Kyle Walker or someone like that. So it's hard to pick one.
Very
out.
Brexit FC choices there. I must admit.
Yeah, true.
I want someone
I was
English,
googling.
mate.
Yeah, fair enough. I mean, R9's a great shout for pace, to be fair, I've got to say. And then power, well, here's one who's not Brexit FC, although to be fair, he was playing in the Premier League at the time. But I remember Jimmy Floyd Hasselbank had the record.
Very nice.
And I don't know if it was, it's probably been broken since, but I know he had the Premier League record for years for like the hardest recorded shot or the hardest recorded goal or something like that. So
I think Trezeguet had it as well, didn't he, for a volley?
Trezeguet had a bloody doom on it. Didn't he?
Yeah, what about
Hulk? Oh my god, yeah. Talk about power.
Yeah.
His actual name states what he is, mate. He's just a fucking monster. Yeah. So some very good shouts from there. I'll move it on because it's took a lot longer than I thought it would. Alex, I'm going to name the starting 11 from your last game against Spurs, and what I want you to do is just give me the first word that springs to mind. Okay, just one word. That sounds sweet. All right, Jordan Pickford.
Number one.
That's 2 words.
One.
One. Coleman, and don't say 2.
Captain.
Keane.
Boomer.
Oh yeah. Tarkowski.
Edda.
Godfrey. Shithouse.
Tackler. You know.
Okay. Idrissa Gueye.
Blue.
Iwobi.
Engine.
Decore.
Ooh, engine again, probably. Slap.
Onana.
Class. He's class.
McNeil.
Crosser.
Damari Gray.
Trickster.
Nice. Very good descriptive words there. Well done, Alex.
Yeah.
Shreyas, the last time we played Everton in the league was back in October.
Yeah.
Do you reckon you can name the starting 11 in that team?
I think, De Gea in net, Diogo Dalot, Martinez, Varane, I'm guessing Luke Shaw.
You've got it all of it right apart from Varane. Lindelof played in the game.
Martial started the game, but he went off for Ronaldo. Anthony scored in that game. Anthony, Rashford.
Correct.
Bruno is there, definitely. Eriksen is going to be there. And
one more.
I just want to
remember.
remember.
A bottle of champagne.
Yeah. It's either Casemiro or McTominay.
Which one?
Casemiro.
The goat of all goats. Casemiro. Casemiro, that's what it was. You actually fucking smashed that, to be fair. That was decent. The last one before we get stuck into the preview, believe it or not, it's been like 15 minutes. I'm still not in the preview properly. Can you name the biggest scoreline from both sides? So what's the biggest scoreline Everton have ever beat us? And what's the biggest scoreline United have ever beat Everton?
Everton
We
have
beat you
beaten us.
5-0.
Yeah.
We beat you
What?
5-0, I think. In the
Not it. Sorry, so let me you're right, but let me rethink it. Sorry, modernise. So after the Premier League, the 5-0 was not 84, wasn't it? At Goodison Park.
Yeah. Oh, bloody hell. We've not had many wins, to be fair, have we?
I think we lost
beat you
4-0 to
3-0.
them as well, right?
92, I think it was. The first Premier League season, I think it might have been.
Shreyas, I think you said it right there. What did you say? 4-0?
I think we lost 4-0 to Everton at Goodison under
Oh,
Oli.
shit, yeah.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. Oh, I remember.
In the pink salmon kit.
Yeah,
my God.
like a bicycle
Yeah.
kit.
Listen, if you put Phil Jones in a pink kit, it's done. Your game's done with, mate. It doesn't matter who you play, what team you play against, we are done. So, 4-0. And then, of course, the 5-0 you mentioned, Alex, was in, Division 1 at Goodison Park in the 80s. Can you remember, I was going to say, can you remember who scored in that game, Alex?
What, in the 4-0?
Yeah, so that game.
Yeah, Richarlison, Luca Dean, Theo Walcott, and was it Michael Keane?
No, you got all three right, but one name, if you want me to give you a clue, is shall not be said or shouldn't be said. To be fair,
shouldn't be said.
It'll click in a minute. You don't speak about him much at Everton anymore. That's all I'll say.
Oh, Lukaku?
No.
They don't speak about.
They don't speak about him anywhere.
Oh, Sigurdsson.
There we go.
That guy.
Whoever that is. 4-0. Shreyas, our biggest win. I don't think you'd know this, but I'll ask you anyway.
Yeah. I think since I have been born, the maximum would have been 2-0 or 2, and that's what I've pretty much seen in Everton and Man United games. So I'm guessing 2-0.
No, because it was before you was born. That's why I was saying I don't think you would have known this, to be fair. So, our biggest win was 1999 when we won 5-1. Like I said, I don't expect you to remember that game. But do you want to take a guess who scored in that game by any chance?
I wouldn't even know who were the players who played at that time. Honestly, I wouldn't even
know.
But none of them was Stinger scorers in that game. No. I was about to say the manager who led us to the biggest defeat post, the Premier League. Well, not post, during the Premier League, to say. Scored 4 goals in that game. And then Dennis Irwin scored a penalty as well. And do you know who scored for Everton, Alex? Who scored the 1 goal?
99.
99.
Don Hutchinson, I'm going to guess. Or
Francis
Kevin Campbell.
Jeffers.
Oh, Franny Jeffers.
Franny Jeffers. Yeah, wonder kid.
Whatever happened to him.
Yeah, we're not going to do a full show about Francis Jeffers. We're going to actually dive into the preview now. So both teams, we're bringing it back to the normal day. Both teams will be fighting in their own right. Everton still pushing to stay in the Premier League, where this season is probably going to be the most fascinating in terms of who goes down. I've never seen a relegation battle like it, honestly. It's like within 8 teams involved of it. It is mental. Manchester United ourselves looking to solidify a spot in the top 4. Usually, if you can get around the 70-point mark, you can get Champions League. And I think we're currently on 53 points with 10 games left. So if you win half of them, you're in with a shout there. And I think I'm more than positive we can do it. I actually watched Everton against Spurs for this preview, and the fact it was Monday night as well. Monday night football is always fantastic in it over here. And I hate using this word about Everton, Alex, but because Ollie used it all the time. But the passion, commitment, fight I saw from Everton in that game was mega impressive. Even when you went a man down, you look like the better team, which I thought that's got to be signs of Sean Dyche. And likewise with United Trails, we saw a bit of bite after the lacklustre performance on Sunday as well, didn't we, in our most recent game? So that's why I'm saying it should set it up for a fantastic tie. Just talk to me about Everton, Alex, and how you felt since Sean Dyche has walked through the door. I should say Sean Dyche has walked through the door.
Do you know what? Right, it's one of them appointments where it doesn't necessarily get you excited. He's been linked with us down the years countless times. Anytime we lose a manager, he always seems to be right up there and in the bookies list and that. And every time it happens, I'm like, is Sean Dyche who we really want to sort of, because us as a club, our aims are to sort of lessen the gap between sort of the top 6, 7 and like the bottom half of the table to try and just basically finish as high as we can, try and challenge for Europe and do well in the cups and things like that. But I suppose him coming in mid-season in a relegation fight is basically what he's made for in it, really. Like he's had so many years, exactly, of keeping Burnley in the league and keeping them in when sometimes when they seemed dead and buried, and he's kept them up and stuff like that. And then they've had a few seasons, especially like one in particular. I think it was like 2016 where Burnley came 7th and qualified for Europa League.
Yeah.
So I just think this is his first opportunity at a big club, a club the size of ours, where, okay, obviously this season the goal is to keep us in the division, but with a few transfer windows maybe and more time for him to sort of put his stamp on the club, then I think he's got it in him. Like he did it with, obviously it only happened once, but to do it with Burnley is just a hell of an achievement.
Get your fruit with Burnley.
Yeah,
fucking
crazy. So he's got like, I mean, you mentioned like the fans and stuff like that. Like what Everton throughout our years of success, like obviously it's been a while since we've had that, to be fair, but the one thing that always remains with Everton is like the home form, because our fans just like coming to Goodison is never easy for any team because of how we make it. And to be honest, it's pretty much the sole reason we stayed up last season was down to the welcome, like, so the team bus coming in and it was just the whole road was just full of fans. We got the flares out and everything like that, and it just added to the atmosphere. And then by the time the games come around, you're in like that bear pit, that cauldron of Goodison. And I think
very close to the pitch as well, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly. Well, obviously it's like the oldest stadium in the league.
With Stamford Bridge as well in it.
Yeah. So it's got that old school mentality about it, and like, I just think that's what's always made, like, it's always made us who we are in a way. Like that kind of support and that passion and that fight and all that. So mixing that in with Dyche, who you would say is sort of a manager, right? He's not just like an old school, old fashioned manager who just relies on passion. He is a coach at the end of the day, and he's clearly a very good coach. He knows how to set a team up and to defend well and everything like that. But it seems like sort of the perfect marriage in a way. It just mixes well. His style of football, but also his personality as a man. Like, I just think it's a marriage made in heaven, I think. And like, I'm quietly confident because, like you said about the relegation battle at the minute with all the teams and stuff, and the amount of points it's in, I just think mixing that together, the passion and the fight and all that, but as well as his tactical nous and his ability to set a team up, I'm feeling pretty good. And I think that there's a slightly, I don't get too positive with Everton because they just bring you back down to earth like nothing. But I just think that maybe there's potential for a rosier future at least. Like, I'm not saying that we're gonna challenge for the title or anything like that, but I don't
pushing that top half.
I don't think
new stadium coming in as well
in a couple of years. So we just got to hope that we do the job this year, because next season will be the final season at Goodison. So no one wants at the final season at Goodison to be in the Championship, because that'll just be.
Oh, fuck that! No.
It'd be horrible.
We're going to talk about Sean Dyche a little bit more later on. Shreyas, on our side, luckily we're not at Goodison Park tomorrow because our away form's been absolutely atrocious. We are at Old Trafford. We put on a dominant display at Old Trafford against Brentford in that first half. Especially if we can replicate that performance, are you confident we can take home the 3 points tomorrow?
Yeah, because I think overall, if you compare it, our home form has been, miles better than our away form. And, the way our team responds at Old Trafford, I think defensively, whether it's attacking and, whether it's just, the overall stability of the game. Like we've seen games, where you could say we've been struggling, but at the end, we've been able to like score goals in a flurry, like 2 to 3 goals in a flurry. And that has happened every single time at Old Trafford. We've not been able to replicate that, when we are playing away. So I think considering we are on the home front, I do expect us to be better. I think definitely the team has responded quite well after that Newcastle loss, and Ten Hag as well as the team, realizes that tomorrow's fixture is going to be very important for us to actually cement our position in the top four, because we are now on similar points as Newcastle. They've got a better goal difference than us, so for us right now the best way to move forward is to win the games in hand that we've got over Spurs, because uh, this is a good situation for us, because I would say we don't really depend on anyone else. Like earlier on it used to be that we depend on a certain team to lose a game for us to move into a certain position. Right now it is just that we need to win our games in hand. We just need to win our games, and we'll be there quite comfortably in the top four. So tomorrow's fixture is going to be really important, and the last fixture before Casemiro comes in as well. So better to give him a warm welcome, and hopefully give the home fans something to actually cheer about.
Saying thoughts on James Garner, boy. You know what? We was actually proper sad about James Garner. Well,
Yeah.
a lot of the people was sad about James Garner, and I was going to kind of touch on it towards the end, but we can speak about it now. When he first initially went, a lot of people scratching their heads, saying like, "What the fuck's going on here? Like, why are we letting a young talent go? Is for £15 million as well?" But from my understanding, everything I've seen of him, Alex, he's not exactly lit it up, has he? Like, has he had a few injury?
No, he has. He's been injured, and to be like, he's come in at like the start of the season, and we had like, so we was playing. It was when Lampard was in charge, so Iwobi was undroppable in centre mid, and then we'd signed Anana for fairly big money, a young talent who a lot of clubs were after and will be after, that's for sure. And then obviously Idrissa Gana Gueye came back as well. So he was playing three-man midfield. He was always going to struggle to come straight into the team. But I think obviously he's a young lad, and I think that would have been the plan anyway for him to sort of bide his time until he was ready. But yeah, he's been unlucky. He did have a couple of like small injuries that have set back his progress a little bit. But there's a potential now with Decore getting sent off last game. There's the question of whether like we could, because Gray's been playing up front, so maybe Ellis Sims or someone can step up front. Gray can go out on the wing where Iwobi's been playing, and then he can go in the centre. Or we keep it as is, Gray up top, Iwobi on the wing, and then maybe Garner comes in. But I mean, it's between him and Tom Davis anyway to play. So we'll see, because I like him, and when he has come on, especially in the last few games, you can see what a talented player he is, to be honest, and how calm and composed he is as a technician. So yeah, I like him a lot.
Just whilst we're on the talking point of midfield, for us at United, we've been talking about the number 8 and who we want alongside Casemiro. And one player you currently have in your ranks, Mr. Onana, what's his name, has looked fantastic. Talk to us about him if you can.
Yeah, no, I mean, he's very young. I think he turned 21 this season, I think.
Don't look at those. It looks about 50.
No,
exactly.
I know. He's proper built for it, and he's built to be that sort of out and out sort of centre midfielder. But I think he's certainly not polished. Like, but obviously that's just an age thing, and I think, but you could just see like his quality and his drive and his determination and all things like that. And from like one of the first clips that we seen from the training ground when he first signed, everyone in the comments was all like future captain, because it was like his first few training sessions, and all you could hear was him shouting and bellowing orders and things like that, and you just thought, this is a 20-year-old kid coming to the Premier League, at a big club, and he's already like he just seems like a leader. But I think, yeah, United would be a good signing. I think he'd do well for you. In the past, usually, anyone comes sniffing around our players, and I'm like, piss off, get away from us, like he's ours, like leave us alone, sort of thing. But I think with how our club's been run, certainly since Mashiri's come in, we've spent a lot of money and we've spunked a lot of money, to put it kindly, and that's left us in a bit of a dodgy place, obviously with FFP and stuff like that, and then the Richarlison sale, like we had to rush him out and we got less than what we probably should have got for him. So I just think, like, we've signed Onana for, I think it was around 20 mil. And now if we're looking to sell him, it's going to be like 60, 70 mil, you'd think. Yeah, like 50 minimum, I think. So that is, like, when you look at clubs like, say, Dortmund or like Benfica,
Ajax,
or clubs like, Ajax, clubs like that, who sign play, it's a conveyor belt. And I think we need to sort of take a leaf out of their book, maybe, if we want to, because we've obviously got these money issues and this FFP thing looming over us. So we need this could be the way to do it. So while it would be nice for us to get, at least another season out of him, maybe, like, I wouldn't be like, my heart wouldn't be broken, to put it that way, if we sold him, because we would get a lot of money for him, and that could help with our money issues and help us with sort of rebuilding the team. So it's one of them.
In relation to the game tomorrow itself, Treyas, how can we stop threats like Onana? Can we deal with the physicality, the set pieces, the transitional play? Because that's what Everton are built on under Sean Dyche in a minute. Like, a lot of that, they are dangerous in them areas. How can we deal with them? Because we haven't been the best in the past, have we? And when we played Newcastle on Sunday, it was a similar thing. They've got big players, man, and they're great on the transition themselves. They're obviously dangerous pieces with Trippier's delivery. So what can we do to counter that, do you think?
Yeah, I think for tomorrow's game, I think genuinely Eriksen is going to be missed out a lot. I think in these sort of games, Eriksen, he's that sort of player who could, string together those sort of passes. He can actually, launch a counter-offensive himself, allow people like Rashford and Antony to, be those kind of runners who can just hit them on the counter when they're trying to attack us. But now that we've not got Eriksen, in the last game, we saw Bruno playing much more deeper. And McTominay and Sabitzer getting much more freedom to do to advance forward. We could probably be seeing that again, because McTominay can't handle the pressure. Like, when a lot of runners are at him, or when the ball is being triggered forward, he is not the person who can break up the play. Bruno is able to do that job much better than him, even though he's practically a 10. He's not a number 6, and Bruno does that job better than McTominay. So I think it is either going to be Sabitzer or it is either going to be Bruno who's going to be playing much more deeper tomorrow, because if we don't do that, then Varane and Martinez will just have to get flustered a lot, and it will prevent us from playing a high line. And if we don't do that, then Rashford tucks in a little more deeper. He doesn't get his freedom to do what he does, and Antony and the fullbacks as well, they're going to get tucked inside. So I think the play, the way to move forward tomorrow is to play Bruno and Sabitzer much more deeper, in order to prevent that from happening, prevent us from playing in our own half, and probably just hope McTominay has a good game, because if McTominay doesn't deliver, then we are genuinely really short of options in that midfield right now.
Yeah, it's true. Just speaking of midfield, Ents is in the chat saying future Belgium captain Onana, very big call there.
100%.
And also, Shah Sam, a real Red Ultra member, is in the chat as always. Thank you for joining. He said Onana is what Scott thinks he is. So, I think that's a fair comment. That's what we want from Scott McTominay. We only see it on the brief kind of odd cameo. But the midfield battle is definitely going to be fascinating tomorrow, because there's some decent players in there. And likewise, you're missing Decore, we're missing Casemiro. So there's going to be a bit of rotation there for both sides. Alex, I mentioned before the significance of how kind of last year went, and you was really worried, weren't you, that you might actually go down? I remember discussing it with yourself. Is this different this time around? Because it's like I said before, it's close between a lot of teams. Yeah, it's close between a lot of teams.
Yeah, no, it definitely does feel different. I'm not saying with supreme confidence that we're definitely staying up, because I'd never like to put a statement out like that, because, like I said, Everton have got a tendency to bring you back down to earth with a crash. Like, it's just what we do. But yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, like you say, it's like from 12th in it, like 12th to 20th
Yeah.
is
Up till
like, I
Palace.
think it's like 4
It is.
points or something like that.
Mm.
And I think when West Ham beat Southampton the other day, they went from 19th, I think, to 13th with that win.
Yeah.
So it just shows you how quickly and how much of a leap up the table just one win can give you. But yeah, I think the difference between this season and last season, I mean, Lampard is obviously can't even be compared to Dyche, really, when it comes to tactics, especially. Like I said before, I think pretty much the reason we stayed up last season was the fans, to be honest.
Passion.
Yeah.
Yeah, passion, and I think, give Lampard his due. He bought into that a lot, and he did play a part in that passion. Like, there's, can't deny that. But this season, it just, now we've got Dyche, we've got a proper coach to, yeah. And I just think, like, I've thought since he's come in, I think, like, I don't know for sure, but we're like maybe fourth or like top 7 or something in the